Have you ever wondered about the boy next door? You rarely see him come out, and when you do, he might be wearing a hood or walking with his eyes on his shoes. Or have you noticed when reading the newspaper about the middle school and high school graduates, how few boys are represented as graduating with honors or as class president? And did you know that boys get 70% of all the D's and F's in high school today and represent only 40% of college students? It's not unusual to find 20-year-old young men who have yet to get a driver's license. Psychologists Warren Farrell and John Gray call this a boy crisis. So what happened? Here are a few key reasons. In the 60s, Western culture began to be shaken at its roots. Protests against the Vietnam War fed broad rebellion against authority of every kind. This included the demand for sexual freedom. Girls fell in line. As sex became easy, boys seemed less inclined to develop the disciplines necessary to gain a woman or to father a family. Inevitably, immature boys would gain reputations as stupid or self-centered. 50 years ago, feminists insisted that girls were held back and disadvantaged. The educators listened, and they made every effort to correct the injustice. Basically, encouraging girls away from the home front and into the forefront. Rallying around the cry of freedom from old ways of femininity, family values became achievement values. The truth, however, as Christina Hoff Sommers documents in The War Against Boys, is that they were not disadvantaged, deprived, or treated unfairly. In fact, they were thriving. Nevertheless, as educators assumed girls were cheated, the implication grew that men in positions of leadership were there via an unjust society, the patriarchy. In a curious irony, many young women have grown up assuming masculinity is to be scorned even as it is envied. The 2025 Super Bowl Nike commercial exemplifies this attitude, depicting defiant girls outshining big men and making them look absolutely foolish. Males have always been good for a laugh, and TV and movie executives continue to make tons of money making the man look like an idiot. What is a boy supposed to think after hundreds of hours watching buffoons like Al Bundy or The Family Guy, or Homer getting schooled by his little daughter Lisa? How many young guys come to the quiet conclusion girls are smart and boys are useless? And not to mention the crippling loss of time and damage to the brain from all the pornography just a click away. So, can we lift him up? Let's start with protection. Our culture has violated basic boundaries between the adult and child worlds. Little kids in daycare while mom is at work, both parents abdicating their teaching role to social media. As children lose their innocence faster than we can say puberty. And let's recruit men to mentor them. Teachers, coaches, uncles, and grandfathers, so boys can hear the call to manhood and envision for themselves positive roles as potential providers and protectors. And most of all, let's call dads back to where they belong. In the home, committed to the mom, providing spiritual leadership, wisdom, and a model of maleness their sons can aspire to.